All right, all right, all right. Hey, shalom, y'all. Bashim Shabakata. If you got your phone on, turn it down. We're gonna get feedback. We use only one mic. We use the mic here, so you gotta turn that one down. Mute. Just turn the sound down. All right, hey, shalom, y'all. Bashim Shabakata. For all the brothers out there, we got Yashikar in the house tonight, visiting us all the way out from Texas. He out here in Cali. What's up, Yashikar?
Hey, shalom in Christ, órale.
Damn, that's right, carnal. Yeah, that's what's up. Órale. We got Malagma in the house too. What's going on, Malagma? Shalom, y'all. We got a Matazar also in the house tonight. Matazar, all the way from AZ. All right, man. Well, once again, man, like every Monday, we're here again. The income, Salakia, man. Once again, we here with La Neta, man. You know, we got all these shows being put out that we even get confused out here. You know what I mean? But it's all good. It's all good, man. I want to thank everybody for joining us. As always, you know, La Neta coming out every Monday. We're trying to do this show every Monday. You know what I mean? Rain, snow, thunder, war. Don't matter. We're gonna be right here. We're gonna be putting it down. All of ISUPK right here, La Raza, you know, getting together to bring out what's happening, you know, con toda mi gente, con toda mi raza, you know, from coast to coast, from east to west, and everything in between. You know, we know what Raza is going through nowadays. We know how difficult it is para mi gente, para mi raza latina, salvadoreños, guatemaltecos, hondureños. Vemos los problemas que están ocurriendo todo Latinoamérica. And we're here, you know what? We're here to bring out that news because it's important, man. We got to talk about what's happening to our people because these times is real tough. And the Lord has chosen us to bring this out so that we might be able to enlighten and, you know, put out the things that we need to talk about.
Slaki said you cut off.
Am I there?
Con, sir.
I'm back on. There we go. There we go. And as I was saying, we got the ISUPK Mexico. You know what I'm saying? You can tune into us every day. We got shows every day, ISUPK Mexico. So tune into our shows, ISUPK Mexico, from Sunday to Sunday. We always got something going on, you know what I'm saying, with ISUPK Mexico. Today, we right here, La Neta, La Pura Neta, as always, bringing that whole card truth. The water once again for jumping in. La Neta live broadcast every Monday, you know what I'm saying? So tune in, tune in. Man, so what's happening out there? Yashikar, man, you know what's happening with Tijuana, bro. Let's bring Tijuana into that picture. That's some heavy, heavy shit going on in Tijuana. You know what I'm saying?
Sir. It's all out war, como siempre.
All out war, all out war. Let me see if I got I think I got a video, man. I think I have this video that I put up. Let me see. Violencia in Mexico. Let me see if I have it. Let me see if it comes up real quick. Let me see if I have this real quick. We want you to see this, man. This is ridiculous. I guess I won't be able to show that one. You got something, Malak, on it? I think the video I downloaded. I was looking for what's going on in Tijuana. I have it, but I gotta format it. For some reason, it didn't format for me. No sweat, no sweat. If you got something, bring it up. All right. All right, all right.
En varias ciudades, los criminales prendieron.
There you go. Go ahead.
Dieron fuego a vehículos.
Okay, perfect.
En Mexicali, en Tijuana, en Ensenada, en Tecate también. No se reportan de momento lesionados, pero hay grandes congestionamientos. Hay desde luego temor. Es una noche de incertidumbre. La gobernadora de Baja California, María del Pilar Ávila, pide calma a la población. Dice que está reunida con su mesa de seguridad en el estado y hasta ahí. Los incidentes de violencia se registran después de los
Damn. Well, I'm gonna have to stop right
ataques
there.
incendiarios, de los 11 muertos que cobró la violencia en Chihuahua, de los 3 muertos que cobraron estos mismos actos en Jalisco y de los ataques contra comercios y los muertos que también
I'm gonna pause it real
registraron
quick
esto.
because it seems to be giving us a.
I just wanted to show you something, pointing out something in that video real quick. I know you put that back on the screen to quit closing at that shot.
Okay, go ahead.
Notice what it says on that freeway sign.
Bring it up again. What does it say? Let us know.
There's a city that it says right there. If it can't pop up, it's no good.
I
On that
think.
freeway sign, it says San Diego.
Oh
That's
yeah.
literally right there across the board. Literally right in, close to our own, literally in our own backyard.
Right.
War is happening in our own backyard, man.
Right. You're right about that.
So for a lot of y'all, you know, outside out here that want to think this guy has nothing to do with you because you live in America, just think about this. Your family, your familia that's out there, man, is at risk. Your familia out there is suffering while you think, you know, that has nothing to do with you while you're living over here in America. Ask yourself why you're here in America right now. Because your familia is trying to escape what's over there. They're trying to escape the harsh conditions, putting, you know, that our people got to live out there to come over here for a better life. Supposedly, right? So for anybody, just it comes to show you how close this is, and that this is close to home, and that war is going on, and our people are dying out there, man.
Sean, that's a good point. And let me tell you something. That's a real good point to make because, America is supposed to, right, give asylum, right? Aren't they doing that to the Ukrainians?
Right.
Don't they got a war going on in Ukraine? So America's giving the Ukrainian people asylum in America. They're allowing them to come over with their families and giving them, places to stay out here and helping them, funding them, giving them all these things. And right here, as you can see, straight up Tijuana, right across the border, man. Like that's a lot of us go there all the time. And let me tell you something, man. That's a war zone. If anybody needs to come to America, it's Mexican people. And let me tell you something. The Ukrainian people have never done nothing for America. Ukrainians have never done anything for America. Mexican, Hispanic, Salvadoreños, Mantecos, Hondureños have done a lot for America. They come out here and they're hardworking people. They put your roof on. They mow your lawn. They're working in the stores. They're the ones doing the field work. They're the ones doing all the jobs that Americans don't want to do. Ukrainians ain't doing that shit. Let me tell you something. Mexican people are. Latin American people are. Hondureño people are. Guatemaltecans, Salvadoreños, they doing that job.
Right.
They should be issued visas. They should be issued passports to come to America. If anyone should be allowed to come over here under asylum, under seeking asylum for war, should be Latin America, man. Because America destroyed Latin America. If you talk about, reparations and, this and that, well, God damn it, America should give reparations to all of Latin America for all the destructive things they've done to Latin America throughout every single century.
Right.
They should be giving them more than goddamn reparations, but they don't even allow them to cross the goddamn border in a war-torn country. And you know who did that? America made that country war-torn the way it is. That's who did that to them.
So, like, if I could, I just want to add to that, right? I remember a sister in the world said that Mexicans don't count as refugees because they're not escaping the same conditions as the Ukrainians, according to the quote-unquote the Geneva Convention. So my question is, what's the definition of a refugee according to the Geneva Convention? Right, it's a war, right? Like a war refugee is exactly escaping a war situation. Yeah. Well, what makes a war situation? I'm pretty sure, explosions, the enemy coming in, invading. Well, what's going on across the border is the same thing. What's the difference?
Right. And if I could, that just shows you how important the ISUPK needs to be in Mexico. That's the urge. Our people need the truth. This is Mexico, home of the Catholics and the Christians, and that religion has failed them. Christianity has failed our people. It has cursed us. This is the outcome of Christianity and Catholicism. Right. War, death, rape. All for what? For the dollar, for the almighty green dollar. That's what is. That's the destruction of our people. That's how our destruction began, through Catholicism and through Christianity.
Con, absolutely. And let me tell you, now that you're talking about that, man, you got to really understand that when you look at the way Mexico is, Mexico hadn't always been like that. You know, it's not until America put its greedy hands into Mexico that it began into Latin. I keep saying Mexico, Slovakia, Latin America, because really I got to cover the whole map of what is Latin America, because it's all of Latin America that's going through this. And right. you know that, man. You know, I've shown the documentary of the Banana Republic. If you understand what the Banana Republic is, the sugar plantations. You know, you want to look into the sugar plantations, Puerto Rico, Cuba, the Caribbean islands. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about the time of the El Salvador, with the coffee problems that they had, because America's a greedy nation, man. It just can't get enough. And what it's really doing is it's exploited Latin America for all its agriculture and its natural resources. And in return, when Mexico needs something or Latin America needs something, America is never there to help them. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. America is not there to help Latin America at this moment. They're nowhere to be found. You know what they're saying? Oh, they're warning American citizens not to go to Baja California. Hey, you know what? Don't go to Baja California, because right now it's dangerous to go there. That's all they got. That's all they're going to do. They're going to warn you not to go over there. Man, Baja California, Mexico, Rosarito, man, beautiful place. Brothers, man, if you ain't never been out there, man, that's Rosarito, Ensenada, the coast, man, it's beautiful out there. It's a beautiful thing. But ask who's buying up all that land. Ask who's out there moving out there. Who's buying all the property? Who's got their vacation homes out there? Who's got their timeshares out there? White America has their timeshares out there. White America has its vacations out there. These corporate monsters retire and they go to Mexico. They go to Cancun. They go to Puerto Vallarta. They go to all the beautiful places in Mexico where the same government in Mexico governs their areas so that people don't go in there. You know what I'm saying? So that they're safe, so that the communities are safe, because they're their communities. But our people, and this is the thing that a lot of people, you know, and I'm gonna say there's a lot of what is it? Black only Israelites, you know, right. The black community who come against Hispanics and will say, oh, well, you know what? Shoot, Mexicans have their own land. Mexicans have their own country. Mexicans have their own this, their own that. But when you really take a look at it, Mexico, we ain't got nothing, man. It's all been taken from us. And this is the result. What you see in Mexico today, the cartels, is the result of American interference in Mexico. And I'll prove it to you. Ain't no Mexican cartel, none of them, stocking up pesos. Ain't none of them accumulating the almighty peso in Mexico. They don't even give a damn about Mexican money. The peso to them means nothing. It's useless to them. What they're accumulating is that almighty dollar. That's what they're after. They're after the American dollar. The American dollar has destroyed Latin America. That's what's destroying Latin America, the American dollar. And they're killing each other for that dollar. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth right there. They don't give a damn about no peso. They don't give a damn about none of that. All they care about is their dollar, and it's coming from here. This is the country that's destroying all of Latin America. And as long as we continue to allow this, to continue in Mexico, Mexico will always be under turmoil the way it is today. Always. Go ahead. You want to jump in?
That's just that. I don't want that. That's heavy that you say that because that's the problem. Like people say that, like, oh, you got your own country, so you're not an Israelite. Talking about it, you don't like saying the same thing. Right out of what happened when at camp that one time when them cats tried to come up and say that, use that same argument.
If I could real quick, just to touch on what you were saying about the black Israelites. We have our own country, right? Mexicans have their own country, Salvadorans have their own country, but Africans have their own country. So them Hamites, them Nigerians, like Liberians, West Africans, all of them, not to get off topic, but they have their own country. Right. So they can be Israelites either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
If I filter one better, the Jamaicans and the Haitians, they got their own country. What now? They not Israel too?
Right.
Hey, it's lucky the Haitians were trying to.
We hear right when you look at these irrelevant things and excuses to not listen to us. Meanwhile, you ignore the other thing I had, which is the oppression, which is the death, which is the suffering of our people. That's the.
It's like you got muted. And Malagma, we can't hear you.
Hands of these other nations.
I would say this too, like in 1492 when Christopher Columbus came, Hernan Cortez came, no, they never left. You know what I'm saying? They're still there. The population, you know, they ain't there by the thousands, but they're definitely ruling. I guarantee you still have some Spanish people in that government. If I could, wasn't there a Mexican president that was a Spaniard? There not too long ago.
There's been Mexican presidents that have been Spaniards. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know and above everything, America still has its foot in Mexico. America still has its foot in Central South America. There was that documentary of the Schools of America.
Right.
Schools of America.
Schools of the American.
You gotta look that up. Anybody watch Schools of America, and it's showing you how America puts its its ambassadors. It puts Americans inside Mexico's government, people of Central America, puts their people in their government in South America. So Mexicans don't rule Mexico. Salvadorans don't rule El Salvador. Somehow or some way, America has its people inside our government. So we may have our own land, but we're not ruling that land. Go ahead on.
No, absolutely, and it's always been like that. People don't understand that some of the presidents that Latin America's had, they've been put there by America, by the American government. Dominican Republic had it. What is it? Panama had it. You know what I'm saying? They put dictators in their places. What is it? Chile, right? Chile had the same thing. The Chilean people had to deal with Pinochet. Pinochet was a monster. Man, you think Hitler was bad. Pinochet was just as bad as Hitler. And he was implemented by the U.S. government as a dictator in order to oppress the Chilean people. And this was not too long ago. This was from the 80s. From the 80s, from the 79 to 80s, late 80s, 89, you had this Chilean, so-called Chilean president who wasn't even from there. He was a French dictator who was put there in order for America to be able to control that region, because that's what they do. They put dictators to control regions. That's why when you seen who was that? Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, when he came and tried to take over his country to run it the way he wanted to, that's why America right away had to go in there and make a coup and take him out and destroy the government that was being established in Venezuela, because it's not to their convenience to have a president who wants to care about its own people in its own country. Because if you get a person from that country and he cares about his people, he cares about his country, well, that president is going to do everything in his power to make his country great. And the first thing you got to do to make your country great is to uplift your people. And that's prominent here in America. America the Great, right? Patriotism, proud to be white, proud to be American, American made. You got all these things that have to do with American, way of life, American culture, American ways. And to them, that's a great thing. But when it comes to another country doing that, then America doesn't allow that. America doesn't allow your country to be great, your country to be patriotic, your country to rise up. They always got to have something to do with your country. Look at right now. America hasn't done anything to stop the war in Mexico. They're not intervening because they want Mexico to destroy itself. They want these cartels to run crazy. They want the cartels to be at war with each other. They want the drugs and they want all this mayhem in Mexico because it's destroying Mexico. And isn't it true? Isn't it prevalent? Don't you see it happening? Don't you see Mexico being destroyed? Right now, who's in the spotlight in Latin America is the Salvadorian president, who has changed El Salvador by doing a pickup of all the gangs that were in El Salvador, La Mara Salvatrucha, 18th Street. This president has changed El Salvador. And right now, America is against this president because they're calling him, he's violating human rights. He's taking the rights away from the Salvadorian cholos. He's treating them wrong. They're doing everything in their power to make him look bad. And they're telling him that he is, anti-human. Or,
Communist?
What is it?
Communist?
No, well, probably communist too. He's a tyrant. He's a dictator. They're calling him everything in the book in order to slander him, to make him look bad. But the people in El Salvador love this guy. Even though he's not Salvadorian, he's Palestinian.
Right.
But they love this guy because he's been able to change El Salvador. He's taken away the American dollar, right? And he's implemented Bitcoin as the national currency. He's finally started and finishing the road that connects Guatemala to El Salvador, a road that was destroyed, and it was the whole construction was stopped during the previous dictatorships and presidents, because America didn't want Central America to unite. America doesn't want Central America united. Imagine if you got Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, Panama. Imagine when you get all these countries together and they see eye to eye and they start realizing, wait a minute, America destroyed us. And they start talking about the truth of their history, because they got a history that proves that America's a goddamn monster. And as soon as they get together and they start to teach this history, it's going to become known in Latin America, the truth about America itself and what they've done to destroy Latin America. Halak, Costa Rica, El Salvador, all these countries. Go ahead.
Wasn't there a president? I can't remember which country it was, right? But he was of Japanese descent.
He's Peru.
Or Peruvian, right?
Peruvian.
Fujimori or something like that.
Fujimori, yeah.
Good night, man. I wanted to add that because it shows you how these other nations rule over us,
right,
and oppress us. You know what I mean? A lot of people want to be allies with the Palestinians, want to be allies with the Asians. You know, when the whole Stop Asian Hate movement was going on. You know what I mean? Like, you want to align yourself with these other nations that hate you. Like, it's not by, coincidence or just one out of the whole bunch that's bad. Like, it's a whole other nation coming over here and ruling over your people. You think a Peruvian president can go to Japan and be president over there? You think a Salvadorian can go to Palestine and be president over the Palestinians? They would never have that or tolerate that. that we tolerated because we're Christians, because of that whole Christian doctrine that has influenced us to love everybody and accept everyone, except the people that will never accept us, that will never have love for us.
Right.
And that's a testimony of
right. And I posted up, but remember the Bolivian president, Evo Morales, he was for his people. And America did a coup on Evo Morales and forced him out. They forced this president out of his presidency and in place put somebody else that cooperates with the United States. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead, Salaki. Go ahead.
Hey, Salaki, if I could, you know what I'm saying, what you guys are bringing out is, you know what I'm saying, heavy, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how our people, you know what I'm saying, like, it doesn't make sense, right? To us, it doesn't make sense, right? To us, we understand what's going on and how to operate, you know what I'm saying, and how to run a real government, because in the kingdom of Christ, there's going to be a real government, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be, you know what I'm saying, real leadership. And in the UPK, that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? We have a structure. And the problem is that in this structure, we don't allow other ethnicities to come in and tell us how to run, you know what I'm saying? How to love our people, because they themselves do that, right? Don't the Asians, you know what I'm saying, or the Chinese, or who, you know what I'm saying, in every major city have a Chinatown, and who are they hiring? Their own people, you know what I'm saying? But where's our businesses, our towns, you know what I'm saying, Latin towns, where it's nothing but Latin and Hispanics, right? Running it, and just us hiring each other. You know what I'm saying? Where's Black Wall Street at? You know what I'm saying? You can't find Black Wall Street. Why? Because it's buried. You know what I'm saying? And it's like communities like these, whereas we look up, or we look for help in the wrong places, and because, you know what I'm saying, like how Lamentations says, our vain help. You know what I'm saying? We look for a nation that cannot save us. We look for these people and they can't save us. You know what I'm saying? We put our trust in their government and their voting system and in their military and their power. And guess what they do? They abuse that power against us. But you know who they do help? They help each other. I mean, look at what America can do for the Ukrainians. Look at what America can do for the Afghanis. You know what I'm saying? Look at what America can do for the whole world, but except for God's chosen people, which are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It will help will never be at your door. You know what will be at your door? Amber Geiger to shoot you. That's what will be at your door. And you know what our people would do? Our people will comb her hair, love her, and have sympathy and compassion for her, but will never show compassion for the brother that just got murdered. You know what I'm saying? So lock it.
And so, like, if I could, you know, America want to say that other places are tyrants and dictators and all that, but America is one of the worst tyrants in history. America's done the most inhumane things to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. There's that scripture, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establisheth a city by iniquity. That's exactly what America has done. America, man, I'm telling you, our oppressors are the goddamn devils that the Bible speaks of, and they deserve death. The Lord's going to bring justice to this nation very soon, and that's what we pray for, the destruction and death of our oppressors, of our enemies, of America. And if you win the way, then you going to get it too, Holmes.
Right, absolutely. And I seen Halak had spoken about Arbanez, you know, the president of Guatemala. Here's another perfect example of America, right, implementing governments, and then all of a sudden realize that when the governments get into place, and then they start to see, you know, how they can benefit from their country and turn against them, how America itself will implement a coup d'etat into a Latin American country to take out the presidents that they have there. Coup d'etat is famous in Latin America so many times by the American government. They're famous for doing that all across Latin America. These coup d'etats have taken place since the 30s, since the 20s, since the 1900s, where America has been experimenting with Latin America in a sense of trying to govern, what they call their backyard. Because that's the way America sees Latin America, our backyard. When they talk about Tijuana, Mexico, or Central or South America, they say our backyard. In reality, man, America's our backyard.
Right.
Like you guys are, America is our backyard. Like we were here first, cabrones. We're the ones who established this place.
Right.
We're the ones who made it. You're an intruder. You came in afterwards. You established this place with blood. Isn't that what the precept says? A nation. What is it? A city established with blood. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? That's what America did. Let me tell you, El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, Latin America, South America, we didn't establish with blood. We established our nations with intelligence, with how could I say, with with hard work. To this day, we're still the same. We still hardworking Mexicans, Salvadoreños, Centroamericanos. We still hardworking people. Man, we did it with ingenuity. We build those pyramids. We build the calendars. We build the observatories. We build the baths. We build the aqueduct systems. We build the marketplaces. You know what I'm saying? We built the hydroponic food growing areas. We built all these things. Zoos. We put the zoos together. All these things that Latin America has contributed to the well-being of humans, man. That's what we done. What America did was contribute nothing but death and lies and robbing and murder. That's their plate. That's what's on their agenda. If you go back and you see the history of my people and you see the history of their people, you'll see the difference of how they've established this place. Anybody got that precept? How they town built it with blood. If you understand how they did it to build their country, there it is. It's King James, right? It's Habakkuk 2:12, I believe. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. Man, with blood and iniquity is the way America has established this place. That's the way this place has become. These dictators that we see in Latin America, the way they are is because they come from a place that teaches that. The schools of the Americas, which was in Panama, right, which was established by the CIA of America by Eisenhower, right? That school taught iniquity and taught how to build towns with blood. That's what they did. That was their main study, their goal. That was their curriculum. Iniquity and how to build towns with blood. That's what they had. Go ahead.
I'll say this though too, like, and then you gotta think about it, they did all of this in the name of God. So in the name of God, they murdered, raped, and slaughtered our people. Like you can read in Christopher Columbus' diaries where he said that the Indians, the Taino Indians, were peaceable, tractable people, right? So they greeted him, they took him in, showed him the land, right? And at the end of it, he said, we must make them slaves. After all the things that all the hospitality, the kindness the Indians showed Christopher Columbus, and the back of that white man's mind, that now we gotta make them slaves.
Right.
And after that, Hernan Cortez did the same thing. After that, the Pilgrims did the same thing. You look up something called Manifest Destiny, where the white man believed it was his God-given right to expand his land to the west. So as they're expanding their land, moving to the west, what are they doing? Moving the Native American Indians out of their land and putting them on reservations. The Trail of Tears, murdering Native kids, murdering Native American women and children, right? Putting black people as slaves, and as soon as they hit the west, they took the Mexicans out of their land. They took Arizona, Texas, California, right, and all the other states that belong to us, and pushed us to the south and took our land. And that's the mind state of the European, of all the colonizers. His mind state is to take, and kill. And it's hard for us to believe that or see it because of Christianity. Because of Christianity, you hear about love and hugs and kisses. So you think you can never look at a European or as your enemy as an enemy. You think I gotta forgive them, I gotta take them in, and that's the problem with Latinos. That's the problem with our people, is that we're so forgiving, we're so kind, we're so nice. So because we're so kind and so nice, they'll punch us in our face, and we'll say we forgive you. Oh, you know, Dios and God, you know, we shouldn't retaliate. And that's the problem. And the solution of it to all is to leave Christianity, leave the Catholic Church, and come into Israelite school. UPK. We're going to show you how to fight, how to defend yourself. Man, we're gonna give you hate, man, like David hated a righteous hatred. It's right to hate, and we gotta hate the people that murdered, raped, and enslaved our ancestors. We gotta hate the people that took our land, and love the people that are in our barrios, in our own neighborhoods, on the border, in the brothers in the cages. We gotta love those people, man, and not give that love to anybody else but blacks, Hispanics, and Americans.
That's right.
I could, sir, just to touch on what after the olive dropping, right? Like, you got to ask yourself why Christopher Columbus thought to make them slaves, because he observed some about the indigenous people as he was, out there. He knew they were God's chosen people, and he knew that if they woke up and realized who they were truly, and if they got in the power, what it would mean for his nation of people. All these oppressors know who we are. All these other nations know who we are. We're the only people that are stiff-necked and don't want to accept the truth. We do not want to accept the truth that we're God's chosen people. But these other nations know we truly are. And that's why they put so much work into pushing propaganda, misinformation, lies, to keep us asleep, right? So that we never wake up and know who we are as a people, man. All we got to do here in the ICPK is wake our people up, man. We don't have to be a violent organization. We don't have to go harm Esau or do anything to these people, man. All I got to do is go gather my people, wake my brother up, and serve the Most High. And the Most High is going to do the rest. So when y'all want to push negative propaganda about us and call us all types of things, take a look at who's really doing all the harm and violence and crime. What's going on right now in Florida, right? These devils are talking about, doing another civil war because their president, ex-former president, got his house raided.
Right.
When you ever heard us calling for a civil war, man? When you ever seen anyone from ISUPK or from any Hebrew Israelite organization, any fake Israelite organization out there, do anything to anybody, man? As lost as them brothers are, man, you never heard of any harm coming to these people because of what we teach, man.
Right.
But versus that Christian church, that Catholic church, all these false religions and movements, look at all the violence they profess and commit, man. Don't miss me with that calling me a hate group and a terrorist group and all that nonsense, man. And take a look at yourself in the mirror.
Right. And if I could, man, that's why the Bible is so heavy. In the book of Psalms 137, verse 9, it says, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Happy shall we be when we get to cause the hurt and pain and anger against our oppressors that they've done to us. Happy shall I be when it's my turn to take their babies' lives the way they took ours. Happy shall we be when that day comes.
And the reason why is because of the way, not because of who they are, but because of the way they are. Not because of the color of the skin, but because of the things, the actions they have taken against us. And let me tell you something: if you're from Latin America, right? If you're from anywhere in Latin America, man, even the Caribbeans, right? Baraka Yala, my boy Baraka Ray, Shalom, y'all, Bashim Shapato. Welcome to the show, Carnal.
Hey, Abashim Shabakatham, Marawanyam.
All right, all right, and you know we should all be. If you're from Latin America, if you're from anywhere in Latin America, this pertains to us because America has done an all-out attack on our people, and they know it. Like they themselves, they don't deny what they've done to our countries. The violation of human rights in the Caribbeans, in the islands of Puerto Rico, Cuba, in Latin America, Central America, and Mexico, the violation of rights that they've the human rights, the violations of human rights is man is they can't cover that shit up. That shit is obvious. They're those type of people. I'm gonna read something from Nancy Pelosi talking about the School of the Americas. And I say the School of the Americas because that's where all the training has come for the destruction of our people. Here it goes. Go ahead before I read.
If I may, right? If I may, like you say, they cannot deny their role in our oppression and everything, whether it's from the North, Central, and South America and in the Caribbean, but it's still going to be hypocritical about it. For an example, right? So you have my island, Martinique, and our sister island, Guadeloupe, which were poisoned by France using some pesticide, right? And now it's one of the main reasons a lot of people on the island get cancer, right? Some babies are prematurely born and everything. But the president of France would go to say, yeah, it was disastrous, but let's not make it like it is the reason that people get cancer and everything, right? Or that the food is poisoned and the land is poisoned. Well, it is actually the reason why the food and the land is poisoned. You understand? Like a lot of fishermen lost their jobs because the fish and the rivers and the ocean around the islands are still infected by the pesticide, even though they stopped using it since like 93, right? But it showed that the pesticide would not go away until like 200 years later. And it's saying, yeah, we know we kind of did a mistake, but we cannot be blamed for the health condition of the people on the island.
Right, absolutely. And you know what? That's common that they do things and then try to push it to the side. What you're talking about that happened to your people, the people in the Martinique, right, is the same thing that happened to the Native American Indian when they were doing the nuclear testing on their reservations. And then in the end, they were just like, well, that, you know, it's not all about the radiation. You know, a lot of people are falling sick because of it, and they try to find reasons. You know, they use their own scientific ways to try to push aside the facts that what they're doing is causing that. Agent Orange, right? The testing of Agent Orange are Puerto Rican people, right? They would get Puerto Rican soldiers. They would take them out to Panama, to the islands, and then they would drop napalm on them, Agent Orange on them, just to see how Hispanic people reacted to the chemicals. Because they know that's a good story, because they know that white people, black people, brown people all react different to their own chemicals. The ones they're testing, they got to test each of us individually. That's why that syphilis in New York, right? That's why they did that there. That's why they also did gonorrhea in Guatemala and Honduras, syphilis on Honduras, because they test people, because they know we different people. They know that we endure more than they do. After all they put us through, we're still here, right? After all they put black and Hispanics through, Native American Indians, they have not been able to kill us off. And they've attempted it. They've attempted to kill us off with the poison rations. They've attempted to kill us off with the chicken pox. They've attempted to kill us off with drugs and alcohol. And we're resilient. We just don't seem to die out with their experiments. So what do? They start testing us and wondering how it is that they're going to get rid of us. What is that? Crafty console? That's what that is.
Right.
That was under the precept of crafty console, finding ways to destroy us. Let me read this real quick for Nancy Pelosi, because this includes the islands of Martinique and the islands of Dominica Republicana and Haiti and all these islands, because they did this everywhere. It says for years, some of us had serious questions about the Army School of the Americas and its connection to some of the worst human rights violations in our hemisphere. It says last week, an information released by Pentagon confirmed our worst suspicion. The U.S. Army intelligence manuals distributed to thousands of military officers throughout Latin America promoted the use of executions, torture, blackmail, and other forms of coercion. We have had concrete proof of what we have suspected for almost 10 years. They're saying 10 years. They're worried about, here's the bottom line, U.S. taxpayers' dollars are used to promote an approach that advocates using, he says, and I quote, fear, payment of bounties for enemy dead, beatings, false imprisonment, executions, and the use of truth serum. This is what the School of the Americans practice out there on our people. Imagine that. And they're concerned, the American taxpayers. They're using your American dollars to promote this. No, man, our concern is you're doing this to our people. The hell with your American dollar. You are inhumane monsters. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're inhumane monsters. You have no heart. You have no compassion. You have no sense of being righteous or doing something for another human being because they're not human. Go ahead, Salagi.
Salaki, I one. Salaki, I one, if I may. Just like you said, I'm just gonna put it like this: they're such evil bastards, right? Because they would claim like there's been some concerns over what's going on into the in our hemisphere, right, on our side of the world, right? But they literally know what they're doing, because even in Martinique and Guadeloupe, like the pesticide that was used on our islands, France banned that pesticide on the European continent. The US had banned that pesticide. The UK banned that pesticide, but France were still using it in her overseas colonies in the Caribbean, right? Just like you said, just like the Native American Indians or Agent Orange on the Ephraimite brothers and sisters, to them we're just test subjects to see how we would react to such chemicals, to see what are the short-term or long-term effects on our people, right? To see if we could die quickly off of it, or are we gonna get some type of disease in the long run.
Con. And it's the same thing, like I said, it's the same thing they did to the Native American Indians. Same thing they did to the Mexicans, man. You know what? We went through the same thing on inside the missions in California. They were doing the same thing to us because they know who we are. They know what we're about, and they come after us. Khan, Miriam, Shalom, Shalom, Planned Parenthood, man, is the new poison against our people. It's the new attack. They're always trying to find some way to destroy our people. And like Miriam says, Planned Parenthood, that's just a new way, because they can no longer poison us because they already used it on us. They can no longer bomb us with Agent Orange because they already did that to us. So now what do? Here comes Planned Parenthood. Here comes LGBT. Right. Here comes what else? Two-spiritism. Two-spiritism. Here comes gentrification. Here comes all these new ways of how to destroy Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. Go ahead. Anybody want to jump in?
Sir, if I could. There's a scripture on the Bible, Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So that's why estos pinche gringos bastardos, all they're doing is just destroying it. But all these people know is murder, death, rape, pillage. That's all they're all about. This nation that so many people love, it's the worst nation in the world. They're monsters. Estos vatos son unos pinche monstruos y merecen muerte. Es lo que merecen estos bastardos.
And let me tell you, like even the Native American Indians, Hispanic man, us Hispanic people, we were out here working on the fields of California. This is just like the brother is talking about in Barack Ayala is talking about in Martinique. They had us working in the fields of California, and they were spraying DDT across the whole thing, all the fields, and they were spraying this DDT while Mexican people were working out there. So they were actually spraying Hispanic people with DDT, and DDT was banned in America because they knew it caused cancer, but they would on purposely spray that shit on Hispanic people, and that's what they did in Martinique. In Martinique, they sprayed chlorodeacon. Chlorodeacon was what they sprayed on the people in Martinique, and people were working in the fields. People were working. It was like a white powder that they were spreading on the plantations, and people were out there working on the plantations, being sprayed with this white powder, and it was for what was it, for the bananas, because Martinique had banana plantations. So they would spray this thing because why? Because they were concerned about their plantations. They were concerned about their money. They were more concerned about their banana growth than they were about the people out there working those plantations. Go ahead, Barack Ayala.
So, like, I didn't want to cut you off, but I was gonna say what you say is really powerful right there because it shows, like Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we literally went through the same thing. Just like you said, in Mexico, they were spraying the Mexicans in California with DDT, and chlordicon basically is like the cousin of DDT. It's pretty much the same chemical they were using on us and in Guadalupe, right? Just like you said, y'all were being sprayed in the fields in California. We were being sprayed in the banana plantations, right? And they really did not give a damn about the body of the people that were there. You understand? Because the chemical was banned, but France would not use, like I said, France would not use this product on its own territory, right? They would have to test it out first, even though they knew other countries such as the US and the UK had banned the chemical because, like you said, just like DDT, they know it would cause cancer or other health issues in the long run. You understand? And they stopped using it in '93, and I'm born in '94, so like me and a lot of my cousins, we may still have some trace of chlordicon in our blood because they've been using it for so long, right? And it just recently stopped using it.
It was also known for birth defects and reproduction defects, and hormonal defects. So even though, like you said, you might have not been working out there, but let me tell you something. When you were giving birth, if your grandma, your grandpa, it's passed down through generations because it's a hormone defect. That means that it's being transmitted to your cells, to your hormones. You know what I'm saying? And it's already being passed to the generations right after you. You know what? They do that shit on purpose because they know they're trying to destroy the generations to come. You know what I mean? That you know why they're doing that? I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you something, Barack Ayala. The reason that they've been trying to do that is because they knew that there was gonna come a point where there was gonna be a generation that was gonna wake up to all this garbage that they're doing. And this particular generation was gonna come back and speak against them and rise people up to the truth of what they've done in those generations in the past. And their attempt to destroy the history is to destroy the next generations because they'll know. And there'll be a generation that will stand up, that will speak about it. Because these generations may not say nothing. They're being how could I say, enslaved. They're in the fields. You know what I'm saying? They have no choice. But there's a generation that is going to have a choice. It's kind of like in Mexico, they got this thing with the cartels where you know what it is, where like they'll kill your kids because they know your kids will come back and get revenge on you.
Right.
So they'll kill your kids. They'll be like, I'm gonna kill your kid because this kid is gonna grow up and one day he's gonna come back and he's gonna kill me or kill my family. So before that happens, let me take his ass out right here, right now. And that's what these people did. That's what the French, that's what the Edomites did. I'm gonna put that because if I say Edom, it covers all these bastards.
Right.
So these Edomites, that's what they did. They're attempting to destroy a generation so that they can assure themselves that they won't come back. But guess what? They failed because now
That's
we're
right.
here. And
Damn right.
that generation that they were afraid of, that they feared would come back. And guess what? We're here. And we're the beginning, because we're raising up generations behind us that are gonna come even with more fire than what we've got.
Damn
Because
right.
they'll be educated so deeply in this that they're gonna be raised on. This is gonna be their food and their water, learning these things. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, jump in, man.
Salaki, sir, if I could,
Go ahead.
if I could, I don't want, like from from my own experience, right? It's so true what you said, like they will come after your kids if they can't get you. Or if they get you, they will still get their kids because, like you said, they're afraid of that revenge. I was kind of in the same situation, not to say too much, but after my parents got killed, few years later, they tried to kill me and my brother. And I was about 6 years old. You know what I mean? So it's so true. You know what I mean? What you said. I mean, these cartels are cutthroat. They only care about their pride and their money. Block it.
Like if I could stir real quick, you know what's heavy is that where do you think that mentality comes from? That wanting to get the kids because they might get revenge on you. Everybody's seen the Godfather Part 2, right?
Right.
You remember the beginning where he's in Italy growing up and he killed his father, and the mother is pleading with the mob boss to spare her son, and the mob boss said no, like he was gonna try and kill him. But this is what you gotta imagine and think about where that comes from, and you can tell that that's Esau's character, his mentality, his lifestyle. He's gonna take you out, and he's gonna take your children out so that you can't get him.
Right.
Right.
I got a precept though. You can read this real quick.
Oh, sir. The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 31. And thou that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews.
Listen, the white man, the European, the colonizer, he is the author of mischief. He is the author of wickedness. He is the author of all the evil things that he has, created upon us. Like, so everything you guys are talking about, the what you call it, Agent Orange. Brother said, what the Europeans did to his people on the island, the French, everything that has happened for us is because of the colonizing, because of what the European did. He is the author of it. He is the father of it. Every problem that the Latinos have right now goes back to the European, goes back to the colonizer. He created problems for us. He created problems for the Native Americans and the blacks. So we're in this hellhole because of him.
Right.
Keep going.
Shall not escape the hands of God.
And don't ever forget that, though. Don't ever forget that. Read that one more time. Just that part.
Come. Shall not escape the hands of God.
Man, he is not going to escape judgment. No matter how much he tries to do it, he's trying to build a space force. He's trying to build a strong military. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do. But he is not going to escape judgment. You can't run from God.
Right.
God going to find you. God remembers everything. The Most High remembers everything this European, this colonizer, the Edomite, what the devil has done to our people. He hasn't forgotten. But the thing is that we need to wake up. All the brothers on them islands got to wake up. All the brothers in Mexico and Central and South America, Native Americans and blacks, we got to wake up.
Right.
Come back into the truth, and obey the Lord, obey the Most High, keep his commandments. Brotherhood amongst our people. Man, the Lord might see us, have mercy on us, and be like, you know what? All right, now it's time. Let me send my son back. And he going to come and destroy and conquer and wipe out the people that wiped us out. It's just, you know, it's just how bad you want it. And so it's so important for us to wake up and come back into the truth, so we can see our enemies die in front of our face.
Right.
So this devil can pay for the crimes that he has committed against our people. That was it. My hands to next, brother.
John, absolutely. And you know, as long as we continue to try to ignore that fact and continue to fight against each other, man, you know what? We on the wrong side, because the Lord knows what's happening, but we seem to tend to forget. And just like in Mexico, we're going against each other instead of going against a real enemy. Instead of going against the person who's really causing the problems in our countries. You know, we talked about, you know, the schools of the Americas. We talked about all these coup d'etats. We talked about the destruction of our countries. You know, but what we don't talk about is America doing that. You know, people don't want to say America did that.
Right.
When you implement America, all of a sudden it becomes what? A conspiracy theory.
Right.
You know, all of a sudden, oh no, that's a conspiracy theory, man. That's not even true. But you know, but we tend to forget that, you know, presidents like Hugo Chavez were killed because he was trying to take his country back. You know, other presidents across the Latin America were killed because they were trying to get their country back. You know, back from what? Back from a nation that is destructive, that hates our people. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to realize. That's what we need to realize. We need to realize that the fight here that we have is not against each other. It's not black and brown. The fight we have here is one where we got to start to realize that our enemy is not only destroying our countries, man, he's also destroying us here in the States. He's turning us one against the other. He's doing everything possible to make us hate each other. You know what I'm saying? And we got to start to realize that we got to break down that barrier, and we got to start seeing each other for what we are. And you know, in the UPK, we already know what it is. But outside of here, man, you can go out into the world and you can see how difficult it is. Man, Malakma hit it right on the nail a little bit ago. He said war is at the border.
Right.
And, you know, that war is going to spill across. You know,
Right.
They were talking about, I seen this commentary that they were talking about that America needs to intervene into Mexico with the drug cartels. They were talking about that the way they intervene in Iraq and Iran and places like that, that they need to do the same in America. In Mexico, that they need to go out there. Let me tell you something, man. Before you go, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something. You see these crazy ass Mexicans out there? They don't give a damn. These are what is that? Chronicles, right? Chapter 2. What is that? Ishikar is a valiant man, and these Mexicans are valiant men. Man, you don't know Mexicans, man. Mexicans, their songs talk about God lent me this life, and He's gonna take it from me. But before that happens, I'm gonna go all out. Like that's their way of translating how Mexicans feel about it. Mexicans are serious. Like I seen you know, a lot of rap songs and you know, not to put down the rap songs, but you know, I remember growing up in the 80s, you know, the rap songs like, you know, I'm down, you know, this and that. Even here the cholos at my socks all the way to the top, la chingada, you know, all this cholo stuff, cholo culture. But let me tell you something, the cops come around. The first thing you see everybody do is put their hands up and put the guns down. You know, this is common. All these hardcore rappers, Bloods, gangs, and Crips, and gangers, and cholos. Soon as the cops comes around, they drop their guns and they surrender. Man, let me tell you, in Mexico, man, they do not surrender. They go out in a hail of fire. They're there shooting it out. They're gonna die, and they're gonna die like that. That's the way they die. They die going out all out. They're not surrendering. Motherfuckers is not surrendering. They're emptying out every single last clip till they get killed there. And if you've heard their music, their corridos, that's all they talk about.
Right.
All they talk about is I'm gonna die like this. I'm gonna die and I'm gonna shoot up everybody. I don't care who's there. I'm gonna go out like that. And they're serious about dying like that. They're not gonna die in a prison. That's not the way they die, man. In Mexico, they're used to, if I get caught, they're gonna put me in an acid container. They're gonna cut me up. They're gonna torture me. They're gonna take out my eyes. They're gonna take out my toenails. They're gonna burn me little by little. Fuck that, man. I'm just gonna go out like this. I'm just gonna die right here, right now. And that's the mentality. You know what it is? It's desensitized, being desensitized. They are desensitized to dying, to them, and then they even have a saint to accompany their thought. En la Santa Muerte. They're like, whoa, I'm gonna die. Santa Muerte is with me. He's gonna take me. I'm out.
Exactly. I don't think that's a good thing though. Because look, I'll tell you this. Like, I don't believe black people do the things that we do. Like, they'll shoot each other, right? Shoot, which is horrible. It's a horrible thing to shoot another brother and kill them. But in Mexico, they're over there chopping you down and putting you in acid.
Right.
They going above and beyond with all that. And I want to say that's real wicked of us.
Yeah.
And we really picked up some things from our oppressors.
Right.
Because they're like literally cutting you up, putting you in acid, and then making a burrito after it.
Right.
And laughing about it and joking about it. And listen, man, that's insane.
Right, man. If I could, I don't want that's hardcore what you're saying, because you know it's other people talking about, oh, aren't you scared of getting shot and all that. Is, you know, what Mexicans do. I mean, you'd be lucky for Mexicans if you get a proper burial. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got shot in the chest. Órale, Simón, you know, as long as I get, you know, buried, as long as they find me in a complete body, Mexicans, man, you have to bury a toe. A goddamn toe without the nail. You know that toe was tortured and shit. It's like it's hardcore shit. I
mean, if I could do, go ahead. I don't want.
And all these corridos that you know that our ancestors sang and all that, those were true stories. Right. We're talking about vatos who fucking vatos who went all out before they died, and then other brothers they found it worthy to make a corrido because that vato died like the Bible said. Valiant man ready for war. We've been in war. Life is about war. It's always been war for us. To live, to die, for everything. We've been at war forever. And that's the real. What are they coming? Go ahead.
Con, sir. Like they were saying, you know, when they're, you know, in Mexico, like they'll hang you from the bridges or from the street lights, and they'll cut the ropes down, and you know. The guy that was like I was watching this little YouTube video where the guy was cutting the ropes down and the guy go, man, I feel bad for this guy, you know what I mean? I feel bad for their family. And they go, man, he's like the family's actually lucky because they actually got the body they can actually bury. Because a lot of these bodies, you know, they're gone, you know what I mean? So just imagine that, man. I mean, having the body is almost like a luxury because you can build a tomb. You know what I mean?
It's like mercy or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's an act of mercy right there.
But in reality, that's harsh, man. I mean, it's sad what we go through. You know what I'm saying? It's sad that what you know what I'm saying. Like all these stories and everything that you know what I'm saying that we're talking about is like all these things we had to learn from our oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things we use to hurt ourselves. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like what the things that we can do to hurt each other. I mean, why won't we, you know what I'm saying, put that energy into helping each other out? You know what I'm saying? Instead of killing each other, instead of, you know what I'm saying, trying to hunt one another down. We're so quick. I mean, look, like we were talking about earlier too, that we were so quick to, you know what I'm saying, forgive the white man, you know what I'm saying, or forgive our oppressors, right? And then for us, where's the forgiveness in us? You know what I'm saying? Where can we come together and where can we talk to each other? And hey, you know what I'm saying, hey, look, te pasaste de you know what I'm saying, de lanza y no me gustó eso y esto. Y cómo lo vamos cómo vamos a trabajar to find a solution for this, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's like We got to find a way to come together and you know what I'm saying, and get along, because
sir.
our oppressor, like, look, it's like this. You got to see it like this, right? It's like we're dying by the hands of our oppressors, right? We're dying by our enemies and by our own people. So
Right.
it's like who can we run to? You know what I'm saying? Who can we trust? You know what I'm saying, in this wicked world? You know what I'm saying? But
Salaki, if I could,
go ahead.
what's that scripture where it goes, we got an evil eye for our own brother?
It where he's weak. It's in Deuteronomy. A weak man will a tender man shall be evil to have an evil eye towards his brother. You
Con,
know what I'm saying?
con.
Because he's weak. You know what I'm saying?
So, like,
Let me
I
get that
got the
for you.
scripture.
Go ahead.
It says Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom
Right.
and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we're all like, that's the thing, that there's some weak men out there that are evil towards, you know what I'm saying, their brother. And you know where they're at? The Christian church. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? That's where you could find all those evil men. And guess what? All those brothers that are killing each other, guess what they are? Christians. Because that's
Right.
what Christianity teaches you. To hate
Right.
each other. You know what I'm saying? To oppress each other. And to love that white image of Caesar Borgia, and to hate your own brother, and to hate another black man. You know what I'm saying? Because Christ is a black man. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to hear those words. You know what I'm saying? You know how many times we go in the streets and we tell a Mexican brother, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Christ is a black man. They'll be like, what? You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, they're so surprised, because it's like the so much hatred that we have towards, you know what I'm saying, each other, blacks and Hispanics, is like, it's crazy. And then to hear that our you know what I'm saying, our king Yahweh is black, it's like, and for me, when I first heard that, it was like, it's crazy, because in my community, that's all we talk about is, you know what I'm saying. But now it's like, if you really put two to two together, it's like we both share the same oppression. Like,
Right.
we're both running through, you know what I'm saying? We're both trying to escape persecution. You know what I'm saying? We're both trying to, you know what I'm saying, ducking and diving from bullets, from, you know what I'm saying, from police, from all these other things, you know what I'm saying, that oppress us. And it's
Right.
like, what how can we come together? You know what I'm saying? And that's only in the ISUPK, you know what I'm saying, learning the truth according to the Bible about who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right. I mean, you tell Judah that Christ is a black man, and his mind is blown. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Like, if I could, real quick, I just wanted to add, because some Officer Kazakia brought out, right, on how they were begging. What are people doing? They're begging for the U.S. to intervene in Mexico right now,
Right.
because of all the violence going on.
Right.
Well, lo and behold, little did y'all know that the violence going on in Mexico right now is because the U.S. intervened, man.
Right.
That's your U.S. intervention, man. Everything going on over there, all the drug cartels, the violence, every issue going on is because of U.S. intervention. From Mexico all the way down to South America, man. All the wars, the coups, everything, that's your intervention. The issues in the ghettos, the barrios, the reservations, that's your U.S. intervention, man. Maybe
Right.
it's time to start saying that the U.S. stop intervening in Mexico, stop intervening in Latin America, stop intervening in South America, man. We don't need this oppressor, man. That's the truth, man. And we still want to turn them on for their salvation, so quote unquote salvation and guidance, not knowing that means our demise, man. That means our destruction.
Right.
So just wait, man. That's the thing, man. You gotta learn. A lot of y'all want to talk about decolonization and whatnot. Well, that's your decolonization right there, man. Stop trying to, depend on this oppressor for anything and looking to them for validation and stuff.
And as you can see, when you talk about the war that's happening in Latin America right now, in Mexico, right? That we're seeing in Tijuana and Mexicali and all that. This is the result of America bringing in guns into our country. This is the result of what America did to destroy our country. The same way they came and put crack cocaine into our neighborhoods, they put guns into Mexico, into the hands of the Mexican cartels. That's what they did. They went in there and walked these guns across the border and dumped them. Don't they do that in Chicago? Are they doing that in Chicago?
They do that. They do that in every hood. I mean, I heard stories where in Washington State, in the Tri-Cities, also in California, there'll be trains that the trains will stop in the train tracks, and it will be open full of guns. You know what I mean? And also, what you're saying in the hoods too in Chicago, I mean, they'll go in the middle of the hoods and drop crates of guns. And in Mexico, you will see videos of the military at the border, the Marines exchanging weapons with the Mexican cartel. But of course, all these guns are coming from the United States.
The biggest manufacturer of weapons is the United States.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they're doing these gun drops. Why? They're unstabilizing the Western Hemisphere. That's what they're doing. They're unstabilizing it, and they're doing it on purpose. Because what do they do, man? You know, the conspiracy theory. What is that? Create like a division or divide and conquer, right? You know, they do all these things to destroy the communities, right? And then go in there and try to make peace. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing. But in Mexico, they went ahead and did this, but I'm pretty sure that this is going to backfire on them, because putting these weapons into Mexicans' hands was not the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Because Mexicans, like, you know, at some point, you know, we're going to wake up to the reality, and Mexico is going to stop fighting each other. And the next thing they're going to do is Mexico is going to be a great nation. And you know how you know this? I'll tell you why. Because what's happening in Mexico also happened in the United States. During the time of Al Capone and the gangsters, this is the same thing that you see in Mexico today, where you see war on the streets, killing on the streets of America. They were burning up neighborhoods, burning businesses, gunfights with police, gunfights with gangs, with mafias back and forth, not only in Chicago, but in Miami, in New York, in Philadelphia. There was Las Vegas during the time of Al Capone. This is the same thing that was happening in Mexico right now. Those days are again in Mexico now. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I mean, we learned from them. I mean, the very first gangsters were these Europeans. I mean, we learned the lifestyle of the mafia, and all that's all European. And if I could too, I want real quick, a lot of these cartels and these cartel bosses are homegrown right here in the United States. Not a lot of people know this, but the Cartel de Sinaloa, it started off in Los Angeles. The leader of Jalisco, they call it El Mencho, he was in Los Angeles or San Francisco. Went to Mexico, became an officer, joined the cartels, and moved up in rank. But El Cartel de Sinaloa, it started off in Los Angeles by selling marijuana, and then moved to Sinaloa, and they started the operation there. But a lot of these gangs started from right here in the United States. Varios de Xochitl, you know what's going on in El Salvador. Varios 18th Street started in Los Angeles. MS-13 started in Los Angeles. So a lot of these big gangs are homegrown in the United States.
Right.
That's
You're
it.
absolutely right about that. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. You know, we get all this this gang and all this how could you say the way of life. We get all that shit from here, from America.
Right.
If I could too, then, you know, back then when I used to think about the cartels, right? I thought these were just a bunch of fools and huaraches and, you know, sombreros, like, you know, just some regular cats, you know, in the, you know, in the gang selling drugs, you know, your typical gang member. And then I look them up, and I see these fools with AR-15s, AK-47s, all black, body armor. They got tanks. You know, I'm like, what the hell? I didn't know this was but these were cartels. Right. And then you know that operation, Fast and Furious makes so much sense because the U.S. government was giving cartels guns. Right. All these guns that they had came from the U.S. Usually, the brother posted up. You just look up Operation Fast and Furious. It was under Obama, where they had guns. They tried to give the cartels guns so they can track them, but they sent them so many guns they lost track of the guns, supposedly. But I believe they intentionally gave them the guns so they could just go out go in a full-out war and just, you know, cause mayhem and destruction and destroy their own people. But the point is that these cartel members, they have guns that come from the U.S. Their weapons and their armor come from the U.S. government, and that was it.
So it's still like another one.
Go ahead, Brock.
Okay, if I may, I mean, in the Caribbean is basically pretty much the same thing. A lot of guns, all the guns in the Caribbean, right? I mean, Martinique and Guadeloupe and like Guyana, which is in South America, but French Guyana as well, right? Or basically all the islands in the Caribbean, we have like M16s, AK-47s, Glock 45, and everything like that. Even though, like, I mean, we don't have some of them don't even have no contact with the U.S. I mean, a lot of guns that we get in Martinique and from the smaller islands, we get them from Venezuela. But then again, Venezuela gets them from the U.S. as well. All those M16s, AR-15s, and all that, right? So they send it to South America so it could be shipped to the Caribbeans as well. I mean, it wouldn't make no sense for any French colony to have any American guns. But then again, you see kids as young as 14, 15 walking with M16s and AR-15s in the street. It's no longer a little small revolver or a hunting rifle. They all have assault rifles right now.
I mean, and I saw this one little clip. They have a 9-year-old sicario. A sicario is like hitman for the cartel. You will see 9-year-old sicarios in the cartel of Jalisco.
Good night.
Yeah, no, man. You know, they're starting them young because it's a lifestyle now. That's what it's turned into. It's a lifestyle. Like, everybody wants to be gangster. You know, everybody out here wants to be gangster. Everybody out there wants to be gangster. That's what it is now. People they want to follow through. And why? Because America has made us gangsters. Go ahead.
They make it a necessity, you know. Kids out there growing up, you know, poor, seeing their mom struggle. So they're like, man, I need to do this, you know, to have something to eat. I ain't trying to, you know, be hungry no more. So I'm gonna just, you know, join this cartel. That way I can get paid and get something to eat. That's the kind of lifestyle they grow up seeing, you know.
If I could say, correct me if I'm wrong, it's either you get on that train or you try to cross that border and then get yourself a job out here, or you join the cartel. Right. You know, it's not easy to live in Mexico.
Peer pressure's a bitch.
Yeah, right. And the other day, I seen a TikTok video where they're talking about the cartels hiring to bring trucks from Tijuana to LA.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
$15,000 to $20,000. I'm like, good night. Someone's gonna take that job.
Right. It actually came out in a news article that cartels were using TikTok to recruit fools.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Salakia, they're using Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto on the headsets, recruiting soldiers from the video games, the live chats. Yeah.
Unsuspecting people, they get like some low key people. You know what I'm saying? That you would never expect them, and that's how they get them. You know, through gaming, they have different strategies they have. You know, to get up to people. You know, they get people that nobody expects or nobody suspects them.
That's crazy, man. You know, talking about how the gangs and everything, and how Mexico is in Tijuana. It's a shame that we got to see our country go through that. You know what I mean? It's a shame we have to see our country go through so much, our people, because, you know, we all have relatives out there. We all, Raza, we all have relatives out there. One way or another, you connected to Mexico. You know what I'm saying? We're all connected because that's our country. What is that? The motherland, right? For a lot of us, that's our place, man. We have a place to run to. We got a place where we're going to go back and visit our families. You know what I mean? And it's a sad thing to see that, and more to understand that this country on purposely does that to destroy our people. You know what I mean? Those cartel people, those cartel kids, that 9-year-old kid that you're talking about, those people that are recruited, those kids that are doing all that, man, those are our families. Those are our cousins. Those are our
little brothers.
Those are our brothers, man. Those are our people right there. That's our people right there. All of those, no matter how fucking wicked they are, no matter what they do, man, you know what? Down to it, those are our people. You know, that's our families. Those are the same people that I used to go to Tijuana and I used to run around in the dirt with. You know what I mean? A jugar pinches piedradas. You know what I mean? Andar corriendo, cagando el pato, you know, andar, con los que pisteábamos, la raza that we used to hang out with, the neighbors' kids, the kid up en el pinche, what is that? En el ejido, los morros que vivían allí, toda esa pinche raza, that's all our people, you know what I mean?
Los boleros.
Andale, it's sad to see that our people have to go through all this, all because we allow a wicked-ass nation to dictate how we're going to be. You know what I mean? But the Lord's coming back, man. The Lord's coming back. And the Lord's going to come back. And, you know, something a lot of people don't talk about, and it's prevalent today in our time, is all these UFO sightings that you see today. You know what I mean? And you see them all the time, man. You see them all the time. And especially in Mexico. Mexico has the largest sighting of UFOs in anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Especialmente Distrito Federal. You know, and it's a sign, man. It's a sign that, you know, white people are like, oh, we're going to have an alien invasion, you know, but we know better, man. We know that what we're seeing is a sign of a times that is coming to an end. America is running on borrowed time, and that time is coming to an end, as we all are. We're all running on borrowed time, you know what I mean? And it's true, man. These UFOs, believe it or not, man, you know, it's something that, even though we don't take it too hard or we don't really consider it, but sometimes when you run through your internet and you start seeing these sightings and these, you know, all these things, you start to realize, like me, I'm always thinking about that. I'm like, man, you know, maybe UPK knew something that I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? With all these UFO sightings, you know, it's something you really got to consider, because no matter what you got, what is that precept that says no weapon made against you will prevail?
To prosper.
Exactly. No weapon formed against you will prosper, or something like that. Yeah. You know, and you got to consider that that's what it is, man. You know what I mean? And you know, we're living these times. It's all of us that are living these times, you know, and we really got to consider what we're up against. You know, America's a wicked ass nation, and its time is coming. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Anybody got anything?
Salak, I just wanted to touch on a point that you made earlier, right? Because it's such a sad thing that we're divided because of the lifestyle that is pushed on us by our oppressor, whether we want to be badman in the Caribbean or the narcos or Sicario in Central and South America, right? Because we're literally the same people. But like you said, this is really the lifestyle of our oppressor, right? And if I'm just going to paraphrase the scripture real quick, right? I think it's Proverbs chapter 3 and 31, where it says, to not envy the oppressed and to choose none of his ways. You understand? If we would actually listen to the scriptures, right, those instructions that was given to us, the nation of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we will not follow after the gangster ways of the oppressor. We will not be drug dealers. We will not want to be sicarios, hitmen. You understand? Whatever is destroying our people, we will not be doing it if we're actually listening to the scriptures and follow the laws, that's the commandments that the Most High gave us in the first place, which is the reason why we're in the condition that we're in, because we don't follow these laws. You understand? But Most High in Christ, Brakata Yahweh Yahweh Shai for ISUPK, commanding General Yahana and the generals, the
Right.
captains and the officers, to the troopers and the young men, you understand? Because we're coming back to this truth. ISUPK is the only place where we could unify as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians.
Right.
Absolutely. No,
Damn
you're
right.
right about that, man. That's why we all here, like I said earlier, man, you know, our oppressor didn't realize he was trying to suppress the rise of a generation, and there was no suppressing us, man. There was no suppressing what the Lord has deemed to be. You know, he was going to choose his prophets before the end of a certain time so that they might raise up a nation, the nation of Israel. Meanwhile, the oppressor has been trying to destroy that nation throughout all of history. I mean, it's apparent if you look at history and you see what's been happening with like Martinique and Mexico, Central America, South America, and blacks and Native American Indians. It seems like it's been the agenda to destroy and oppress these people. Why? Because these people is God's chosen people, and these Edomites have chosen the wrong people to treat the way they did.
Right.
One of the reasons that America doesn't want you to forget of Black history or Mexican history, or you know how they say, just man, that's in the past, you know, just forget it. Because if you allow a people to remember their past, then they have to admit that everything that's in that history, they committed it. The hangings, the burnings, the selling of the children, the raping, the murder, the School of the Americas, the boarding schools, the missions, you know, the poison gases they shot at us, or you know, the poison bacteria, the poison everything they've done to us, the food, everything, man, the whole 9 yards. They're guilty of so many crimes that they would have to fess up to who they really are. That's why they're so adamant about you forgetting your history, about you forgetting the past. That's why they're always like, man, you know, black people are free now. You know, now you're football players. Now you can choose your own history. Now you can be, you know, who you want to be. Now you can, you know, opportunity in America. And they tell us that. They keep telling us how free we are. They're adamant about it because they don't want us to be the way we are. They don't want a generation of people to wake up the way we've woken up. Because imagine if all of us thought the way we think. If there's a few groups asking for, I don't know what, reparations. There's a few group asking for what, what is that, true history. If there's a few groups out there talking about equality and freedom, there's a few groups here and there scattered. They're not worried about a few groups. What they're worried is about Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians coming together and realizing and spreading this, that they are the cause of the demise and of the tragedies of billions and billions of Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians throughout history. Like that's their history. They have to face what they've done. They have to face that history. And that is something I don't think any nation wants to face. That is something no one wants to fess up to. You know what I mean? Especially America. America does not want to have to face the fact that they are a wicked-ass nation, that they've done this to people throughout all of history. Imagine that, to have to go out on the news report one day and say to Americans, you know what? We're guilty of this, and this, and this. And, you know, a couple of presidents, who was that? That black president, Obama, he kind of like, you know, apologized for a few little things here and there. You know, they come out, apologize for a few little things here and there, but there's a lot to apologize for. And the thing is that these things that they did don't deserve apology. They don't. The shit that they've done, there is no apology for that. There's vengeance for that.
Right.
That's what there is for that. The only way you're gonna pay for all that you've done is like, man, you gotta destroy America. America's got to completely break up. There can no longer be an America if it came down to, you know, the bottom line of what it is. Go ahead.
And that's why the Lord brings plagues to America. Like they'll never, we'll never be forgiven for the things they've done. You know, so the Lord gonna have to bring punishment, and He's bringing. That's what those plagues are. Those plagues are punishment. COVID-19 or the Delta variant, monkeypox. I didn't before the monkeypox. What was before the monkeypox? The Delta, the Omicron, monkeypox, swine flu. Then you had the what's the other one? The polio. Polio's back. Polio hasn't been around in what 100 years, probably even longer.
Right
Now that's bad. Man, the Lord is gonna keep bringing these plagues, keep bringing these more destruction. And look, and then what's after monkeypox? Man, who knows? Who knows what the Lord got in line? You know, but you best believe that there's more coming. There's more coming. I read an article about a mega storm coming to California. Right. Look that up. America about to be, California's about to be flooded with water. You understand? Just different things are going to keep coming up. Different plagues, diseases, more destruction coming to America because America, God is going to hold America accountable for the crimes it did, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, God is going to hold them accountable. It's just best that American Indians, you better be on God's side. So when these plagues come and destruction comes, you're going to be on the good side. You know, you're going to be sitting in your home. We're going to sit in our homes. We're going to have some drinks, have some tequila, you know, talk some smack, chill. And, you know, instructions going to be outside this home. An angel going to be in this home watching over us. But if you're not in this home, you ain't with the Lord, man. You have everything to be afraid of. That water going to hit you. That monkeypox going to hit you. That swine flu going to hit you. Polio going to hit you. And whatever else the Lord has to give, you're going to get it too. It's not that hard. Let go of shrimp, let go of crab, let go of Christmas, Thanksgiving, let go of Christianity. It's not so hard to love your brother. You know what I'm saying? You come into UBK, we're gonna show you, we're gonna teach you how to do these things, man. You just gotta be able to be able to learn. You know, be a servant. You understand? Come up in here, man. We're gonna show you, we're gonna give you life and give you protection. The Lord gonna give you that protection. Go ahead, I'm like, why you gonna say?
No, I was saying, I want to touch on, you know, you talk about the next outbreak that you're gonna have. That you're gonna have some, I don't know what it is, right? You don't know what it is, but I would say I would not be surprised if it's something that is as deadly as Ebola and as contagious as that COVID Omicron is, and that debilitates you like the way polio does, and that probably shows up on you like the way monkeypox looks. But all the lesions, you're gonna see something horrific come out that everyone's gonna be afraid of, that the world's gonna come to a standstill, and you're gonna see the fall of society. You're gonna see chaos and anarchy. All types of chaos going on, just like the way you saw with COVID-19. COVID-19 was just a preview, man, because you saw what happened at the beginning, right, with the shelves going empty, everyone panicking. You know, what these outbreaks have shown is that U.S. health officials, government health officials, cannot do anything about it. They can't do nothing to stop it. They can't even keep it under control, man. So that's just to show what's coming, man. A lot worse, man, is coming. Then you got, right, like you said, the floods. You got the big one that's going to hit Cali one day, right? Not just the flood, but that earthquake. Then you got a whole nother, I've seen it like some documentary I've seen, right, where it's talking about there's a big fault line off the Pacific Ocean for the Pacific Northwest. When that thing ruptures, it's going to throw a mega quake and cause a mega tsunami. You're talking about, this one's called,
yeah, it's called the mega quake. Come on, sir.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
Right. They were saying it's gonna be like a 10-point something.
Well, they're talking about Yosemite too.
Now, and Yosemite, which is a super volcano, which is gonna be rough, man. Like that's what's coming, man. Like the most horrific thing that makes you stay up at night is gonna happen, man. And if you want comfort, if you want to, refuge and safety, you best come in here, Raza.
Hey, Yashika was like, I'm trying to get out of here, like right now. I'm trying to go back to Arizona, man. I'm trying to get out of Cali, bro.
I'm trying to.
He's like, man, I'm trying to get out of Cali, like right now. Look at this.
Hey, you got. It's okay because you got what is it? Category 5 hurricanes are gonna hit that zone more often.
Barack Ayala's like, I'm just staying up here, man. You know, I ain't going to Cali for nothing. Hey, no, but that's true. That's true. You know, man. Go ahead.
If I could, I want to give out a precept on Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. That's my faith and my patience. Right. That's the way that's the day I want to live and see our oppressors, todos estos bastardos gabachos on their knees, licking up the dust off of our boots. That's what I want to see. The death and destruction of this goddamn nation. That's what I'm waiting to see. That's what I pray to see every day.
No doubt. And let me tell you something, man. You know, when you think about it, you know, all these things that have been happening, like people don't realize, man, like it's been happening every year without fail. Something happens. It's been going on for the last, man, I'm going to say 10 years. Every year something has happened. We had that it all started with that 9/11, bam. Then you had that tsunami in Japan or fucking India, bam. You know, then you had what that goddamn Mexico. But then you had that oil rig out in the Gulf of Mexico. You know, bam. Another thing. Then you had that shit in the what is that? New Orleans.
Oh yeah, Katrina.
The Katrina, bam. You know. Then you had, and if you continue looking, man, you've just had all kinds of shit like year after year after year. There is always something. It's been like non-goddamn stop. Like every year, you guarantee that come this year, something else. If you're sitting around thinking things are gonna get better, man, you just haven't been keeping track of what the year 2000s have been like.
Right.
All of the 2000s, you just haven't been keeping track. Go ahead.
I was going to say, sir.
How y'all go?
Salaki, sir. I don't know if this is true or not, but they're saying people are grabbing inner tubes and Vegas in the strip, like they're grabbing inner tube because like I guess Vegas is flooded. I don't know if that's correct, but I've been seeing videos where people are on inner tubes in Vegas.
Right, damn. I haven't even seen that.
Sir. I mean, I could be wrong, but it seemed like Vegas that they got a lot of rain where like the streets are flooded.
Yeah, it's flooded for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For sure. But inner tubes, I don't know if they can say your life though.
Man, yeah. I don't. Well, people out there, man. You know what it is. People don't take it serious. Nowadays people just like everybody's into that fast life. Hell, man, I'm gonna be crazy as long as I get on the YouTube. I'm gonna film myself out here in this disaster. Booyah! I'm gonna be famous. 5 minutes of fame. That's all people care about. But everything it's coming. If you think about it, Lahab was talking about this about we're seeing destruction come upon America. And America, if you look, we all know this conspiracy theory that America, the dollar bill, the Egypt, the pyramid, everything like America is Egypt all over again. Right, America is Egypt all over again. Like we're Egypt. Everything we see, like America is built on like an Egyptian type of theme. You know what I mean? Thinking about it in that way, an Egyptian theme. Your dollar bill has the pyramid. The all-seeing eye shit. The spirit of Egypt. Everything spirited in Egypt. The Egypt type. All beautiful Egypt shit. But just the way that it's themed in Egypt. The Lord themed this place in Egypt. What he said, Egypt again? There's Egypt again. Don't forget, Egypt again. Because Egypt was plagued with destruction. Was plagued with frogs and diseases and boils. They're the boils, right?
Right.
Damn fucking the monkeypox. Here are the boils, right? It was plagued with the water, the famine, the food, the death of the babies, the death of the animals, the firstborn, frogs, goddamn snakes. You know what I mean? All these things came upon Egypt, and the Bible doesn't really tell you the timeline of how long it took these things to come. You know, because one day to the Lord is what, 1,000 years. So you really don't know the timeline. But for sure, these things were happening. And right now, and it was happening before the destruction, right? And before Egypt, before Israel became free, before he set them free, we're about to be set free. And the Lord is destroying America once again the same way he destroyed Egypt. And for us, the reason he's doing it, because remember, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. Pharaoh didn't decide to do that. The Lord did that to Pharaoh. The Lord hardened his heart. The Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart because Egypt was the place that Israel wanted to be at. Right. We wanted to be slaves. We wanted to be there. We loved Egypt, man. All the Israelites, man, the Hebrews, they loved being there. They complained after they were taken out. They complained, man, why'd you take us out of there? Right. Man, why'd you make us leave? Man, we were good there. Man, I was happy being bald and looking gay as hell. Right. Being in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Right. I was happy looking like an Egyptian, you know. A Mexican, they're like, man, I was happy being white. You know, why'd you take me out of America, man? I was happy there.
Yeah, no, it's car. Like, I'm happy picking cotton.
Yeah, right. I'm happy here doing my thing. You know, why are you taking me out of it? But the Lord is once again doing it all over again. He's making Israel see that this is not our rest. Isn't that what the Bible says? This is not our rest. He's making us see. And he's destroying America little by little, bringing these things on for we can see that this is what it is. And all these things are warnings. All these things are warning, man. All the diseases, all these things that are happening, they're all warnings. Warnings that we need to come to the Lord because the Lord is about to destroy this place.
Damn
Go ahead.
Right. Salaki Adawan.
Go ahead.
Just to touch on what all y'all Adawanyam were saying, right? I just have two quick scriptures. So basically, the Most High, he's preparing us for the big show finally, if I could say that, right? With all the earthquakes, wildfires going on, the floods, right? The home terrorism, basically everything that's been going on right now, right? He's just letting us know that something big is about to happen. You understand? And for all these oppressors, especially the Edomites, this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21, right? Prepared slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. I'm going to stop it right here. It's like the Most High is getting ready to prepare a mass genocide for the oppressors because of the iniquity of their fathers, because of the hand they had against Israel, right? And also, just like you said, the Most High destroyed Egypt, right? He hardened Pharaoh's heart because not only would Pharaoh not let us go right away, right? But Israel at that time were feeling happy to be slaves. They were comfortable in Egypt, just like we're comfortable in America. Right. The thing is, we have to go back to Revelation chapter 18, verse 4, where it says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." So to avoid the judgment that the Most High is about to bring upon the white man's kingdom and all the other heathen nations, we need to separate from the heathen nations and come back together as one nation. Because just like Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 6 says, right, we are a holy people, meaning separate people. So we have to stop smoking weed. We have to stop partaking in that in the gangster lifestyle, right? Pimping our sisters. Our sisters have to stop pouring themselves out. Whatever sinful lifestyle that we partake in, which is a heathen custom, we have to separate from them and come back to the Lord just to avoid monkeypox and whatever plagues the Most High is going to bring. That's going to be worse than that. You understand?
Right.
John, absolutely. Absolutely. You're right about that. You're right about that. But
yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
If you could read this scripture real quick, I'm gonna knock real quick. Go from Exodus 6:6, go down to 9. So heavy. We was talking about Egypt with you bringing out Barakiah and Zakiah, you know, about what we were going through when we were in Egypt, and it's so important for us to not make the same mistake our ancestors made when they were in Egypt. Right. When Moses was warning the people about what was about to happen. I'm gonna read the scripture. I'm gonna show you what the Moses told the children of Israel when they were in Egypt. Go ahead.
Come. The book of Exodus, chapter 6, verse 6. Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians.
So the Lord told the children of Israel that He's going to deliver them out of the burdens of the Egyptians. Remember, the Israelites, they were in Egypt. They were under cruel bondage, right? They were being oppressed, right? The Egyptian cops were killing the Israelites, killing the Hebrews, right? And then the Israelites were killing each other. Same thing that's going on in America. Keep going.
And I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgment.
And He's gonna redeem us with a stretched out arm, with strength and power. Keep going.
And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God, which bringeth you out from underneath the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you in unto the land concerning the which I did swear to give it to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it you for inheritance. I am the Lord.
So the Lord laying it down what He's about to do to the Egyptians. He gonna deliver us from them, deliver us from their burdens, deliver us from their oppression, right? And He gonna bring us into our own land that He promised our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So He laying it down flat. What He's about to do, what He's gonna do for us, right? Keep going.
And Moses spake so unto the children of Israel.
So now Moses goes delivers the message to the children of Israel. No different from what the brothers in the UPK do. We go on the streets and we deliver this message to the children of Israel. We go out there and we tell Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians what the Lord is going to do to America, how He's going to destroy America, plague America, right? And redeem us, and then put us in our own land. Keep going.
But they hearken not unto Moses.
One more time.
They hearken not unto Moses.
And they didn't listen to Moses. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
But they hearken not unto Moses for anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage.
Man, they didn't listen to Moses for anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage. You know why they didn't listen to Moses? You know why we don't listen to the UPK? Just like slavery. Oh man, we got a job, man. Like, you know what y'all saying is super heavy, but man, I got a job to go to. Man, I got a 9 to 5. You know, man, what you're saying is heavy, but man, I gotta go do this. You know, we're so beat down in America, we can't even take this message. We can't even, comprehend or, listen to what the school has to say. And because of it, you're gonna pay for it, man. You're gonna pay for it with the plagues that are coming upon America. It's best you take heed. It's best you take heed. Right. It's best that you listen before it's too late. Don't do the same thing our forefathers did, which is reject the message that Moses gave them. Reject the message that the Most High gave them, which is the Lord is about to deliver us from this captivity, from this bondage. Don't reject this message because of a stupid slavery, because of a fucking slavery. Because I gotta go to work, so I gotta go to my job. You know what I'm saying? Damn that job, man. That job just wants you for a couple hours and that's it. And what you got after that? You better just listen. You better listen to Yashikar. You better listen to Kazakia, Malak Ma. You better come under the authority of Command Jeremy Hana before it's too late. Go ahead. You want to say something, Charwan?
I was just gonna say, if I could, real quick. That job's gonna replace you real quick.
Right.
That job don't do it.
shit about you, man. Right. Like you despicable to him, to them. You know what I'm saying? They're going to face you so quick. They're not even going to care about you. So they have to see you. That's it.
Man, Con, absolutely. That's what it really is. You know what I mean? But that's why we gotta understand that, you know, the sign of the times are now, and we gotta know how to read those signs. We gotta know how to read what's happening, and the only way to read what's happening is very simple. You have to be attent, and how to be attent is to be part of something that's gonna, you know, give you that insight, give you that that outlook of what's going on. And the UPK, we're attent to the things of the Lord. We're attent to the things of the signs of the times that are telling us that this nation is about to be destroyed. You go anywhere else, man, yeah, you'll be attent. You'll be attent to what's the new music, what's the new style, you know, what's the new rides, you know, what's happening today in this kingdom, in this world. But this world, the Lord has something else planned, and that's total destruction of this place. Right. So you have to understand that what this place is preparing for, in the Lord's eyes, is destruction.
Right.
Now they're trying to not show that. They're trying to show the positive side. They're trying to show you how well they are. And let me tell you something, man. Even that, America's having a tough time showing how well they're doing, because as you can tell, America itself knows how destructive it is, how its time is coming. America is running on borrowed time, and that time is ticking away sooner than what you think. So it's time that you start rethinking about where you stand. Are you with the nation that's about to be destroyed, or are you with the nation that's about to rise up? You know what I'm saying? Which one is it? You know, we're already 2 hours into the program, so it's about time to cut it short. You know what I mean? One thing for sure, I want to thank Yashikar for coming down to Cali and being with us in house today, man. Most High in Christ. And I'm going to go ahead and let Yashikar give him his last words before we get out of here. Go ahead, Yashikar.
I just want to say to Wada for having me here at your crib, One, and como siempre, si tú eres hispano, negro o indio nativo, your place is here with us en la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal, debajo del comando de nuestro general Yahana. Y el hombre blanco es el diablo de la Santa Biblia.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Okay, one more hand for Yashikar, man. Man, Wada Yashikar for coming down, man, and being part of us, man. You know, you're welcome here anytime. You know what I mean? For all the brothers to come down. Let's go to Barak Yala. Go ahead, Barak Yala. Any last thoughts here on today's show?
Kawakana, you already know I'm going to do this in Spanish.
Ándale.
Gracias otra vez por tenerme aquí esta noche. Sabes que estar aquí es un placer con los Arawanyam, pero no lo sostengas en mi contra si mi pronunciación no es la mejor, claro, pero la práctica hace perfecta, ¿sí o no?
Right, Con.
Una cosa más, dos cosas más. Necesito encontrarme una Adelita para ayudarme a practicar mi español mejor.
That's right.
En caliente.
That's right.
Viva la raza, y cuando digo viva la raza me refiero a viva la nación de Israel, los negros, hispánicos y indios nativos, y la cosa última es que el hombre blanco es el pinche diablo que habla la Biblia.
That's
Man. Hey, Barak Yala, te voy a decir, y te lo voy a decir en español, estás poniendo en vergüenza a muchos hermanos ahorita que son mexicanos. Lo voy a dejar en eso. Hey, man, who else we got? Oh, man, absolutely, man. Tawada, everybody for joining us, man. It's the Ayar. Go ahead, Ayar. Come back, last words.
Khan, sir. You know, the ISUBK is the home of Black, Brown, and Native American people. You want to be safe from all these plagues. You want to get ready. You want to get boots on ground. You want to be militant. You want to be men again. You want to be women again. Come to the ISUBK, home of the truth. No cowards.
Right, man. Right. That's what's up, man. No doubt. straight out of Oregon. Boy, a yard, man. Go ahead, Malagma. Go ahead. Let's get Malagma in here one more.
No, sir. You know what? I'm gonna drop a little Spanish. You know what? Ponte las pilas, raza. Despiértate, porque lo que viene es una cosa muy horrible. Y si no quieren, ¿verdad? A sufrir eso, pues debieran de poner atención y entrarse aquí en la ISUPK. Somos el centro de refugio para nuestra gente aquí. Somos la voz de la raza aquí, en la ISUPK, ¿verdad? Somos la voz de la raza. Aquí estamos para ayudar a nuestra gente. Y deben de despertarse. Yo sé que ustedes ya están cansados de todo lo que está pasando. Están cansados de ¿verdad? Este opresor, este animal, el hombre blanco, el gringo, ¿verdad? Cómo tratan a nuestra gente, ¿verdad? Mira lo que pasó con el Otero Street Vendor, ese vendedor de la calle, ¿verdad? Lo asaltaron. Varias de nuestra gente los asaltan en las calles porque no saben ellos, ¿verdad? Nuestra gente no sabe quiénes somos sinceramente. Y si nosotros en seriamente supiéramos la verdad, ellos estarán seguros. Pero lo que nosotros tenemos que hacer es aprender la verdad por principio, ¿verdad? Learn the truth, Raza. You see what's happening to our people, man. You see what's coming. It's only going to get worse, man. It's not going to get any better, man. I thought, you know what, at one point, I was foolish enough to think that COVID-19 was going to go away and, you know, it'd be no more, you know, no more pandemic. But the Lord has something else in store, man. Now you got monkeypox. What you think is next, Raza? What you think is next? You think it's going to die away? Now you got more diseases, more plagues coming, man. Things, like I said, I'm going to keep reiterating. It's only going to get worse, man. So come in here. You best come in here. It would be wise of y'all to take heed and come in here, man. You know, like everything y'all fight for out there, man. Like that brotherhood that y'all preach, the ending of all the violence. Well, this is where it could actually happen, man. Here in the ICPK,
right. That's now, right.
That's the floor next to the next year.
Go ahead, Lob.
That scripture says, Romans 13:11, it's high time for us to wake up out of sleep. Wake up, Black and Hispanic, Native American, Indian man. Wake up, Hispanic man, Latino man. Come into the school, come to the BPK. No excuse now. You got brothers speaking Spanish. I'm not one of them, but you got a couple of them up in here. You know what I'm saying? You got Yashikar, Zakya, Malakma, Barak, Yala, Salakia. You know what I'm saying? There's no excuse for our people not to come into the school, not to come into the truth. Get in class, get in all black, and let's wake up our brothers, man, so we can be delivered out of this captivity. Slack, that's it.
Man, that's what's up, man. ISUPK, man. This is La Pura Neta. As always, every Monday, we're here live, man, giving out all the information we can for La Raza, you know, trying to bring us together. You know, we got Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians rising up across the nation every day, man. This truth is being spread. And our job is to bring out our raza, you know, and wake it up, man. You know, we don't speak Spanish. We don't speak the Nahuatl because that's not our original language. Our original language was Hebrew. So even though we don't speak these languages, it doesn't matter because they weren't our languages to begin with. That's the heathen languages. But you know what? We're speaking the language of the Lord, and that's the Bible. Right. That's the only language you really need to know. You know that if you hear these verses, if you hear these precepts, if you hear these warnings, if you hear all these things that we're speaking about, it should make sense to you. You know what I'm saying? Right. It doesn't matter what language is coming out in. The idea is that you understand that the Lord is calling us, calling you, calling me, calling all of us to come do this work and to wake up our people. Man, Mexico is a disaster. America is a disaster. The world is a disaster. The Lord is bringing down these plagues and bringing down destruction the same way he did during the time of Egypt. Not only Egypt, the Lord has destroyed every place that has held Israel captive. And once again, we're captive here in America. Right. Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Once again, we've been brought here as slaves. We've been treated inhumane. You know, they've done everything with us and to our nations. So it's time we wake up, man. It's time we do the right thing. It's time that we come back to the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord has seen for us, Israel, Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Man, if we don't wake up our nation, who's going to wake up this nation? It's high time, man. It's high time to come back and serve our Lord Yahweh and our King Yahweh Shai. That when the time comes, we may be called to be that 144,000 and to do this work the Lord has called us to do. You know what I'm saying? With that, we want to thank everybody for joining us. Kasharwan, you want a last word? Nah, not at all.
When the 13 colonies, you know, were right here establishing America, right? They were going up against Britain. They were fighting against each other, but they knew that they had one common enemy, which was Britain, right? That's how America was created in 1776, right? So they came together. They put the differences aside. They came together, and that's why people celebrate the 4th of July, right? So we need to do the same, and we need to put our differences together. Aside, and come together because we have one common enemy. Tenemos un enemigo en común. Los llamados indios nativos, los hispanos, los morenos, ¿sí? Tenemos un enemigo en común y no debemos de dejar las cosas chicas, las cosas pequeñas que los hagan daño tanto. ¿Por qué? Porque tenemos un enemigo en común y ese es el opresor, ¿sí? El que los ha hecho daño a todos y por miles de años, ¿sí? Por cientos de años los ha hecho daño. Y es como cuando el Osama Bin Laden hizo eso el 9/11, ¿verdad? When Osama Bin Laden did that on 9/11, and now you look what, 10, 15 years later, you know, they're bringing the Afghanistani people. Trajeron la gente de Afganistán en aviones, ¿verdad? Pero, ¿por qué no? Ellos los trajeron a los de Afganistán. Nomás los perdonaron, no nomás los perdonaron, sino ellos fueron allá y mataron a 170,000 personas de ellos, de Afganistán. ¿Entiendes? Ellos no nomás perdonaron a que les hizo daño.
That must be your phone.
I'm not even on the set.
Whose phone is it, bro? Let me see. Oh, let me see. Try it now.
So good. Okay, como estoy diciendo, like I was saying, they didn't just forgive the Afghanistani people. You know what I'm saying? Like they tell us to forgive the white man or the people that have hurt us. You get me?
And let me tell you, so that's why we should all know that coming into this truth has to be the most important thing that any of us can do. Man, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Oh, go ahead.
If I could just finish it up. You know, that's what that's what the scripture says about Pharaoh, that the Most High raised him up just to bring him down, just to show his power in him. You know, we think America is a great country that nobody can come up against it or nothing, but yet, you know what I'm saying? The Most High did the same thing with Pharaoh. He raised him up. So, like, you put that scripture real quick? Basically, he raised him up so he could show his power in him. When he raised him up just so he could bring him down. That's what Romans, I believe it's the 9th chapter said. You might have to put it out. That's for. But yeah, that was it. I think we're called. Okay, America's gonna be destroyed just like Pharaoh was, even though he was a great ruler.
Absolutely. Well, with that, man, we want to thank everybody for joining us. As always, every Monday, we got the show La Neta coming out. You know what I mean? Join us every week. We got ISUPK Mexico. You know, join our comment, share, and check out our shows. You know what I mean? Also, the Inconvenient Truth on Wednesday. With that, man, I'm going to cut it short. The water, everybody for joining me. Officer Barakiyala at the water for joining me. Yashikar at the water for joining us out here in Cali. To everybody else, we wish you shalom. Yahweh Shemi Yahweh. Till next week, shalom, Israel.
Yahweh Shabbat.
Shalom, Yahweh Shemi Shabbat. Wait, don't say nothing yet. Hang on.